Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're making the mushroom soup that I saw in some group on social media. Let's go. Okay, so we're starting with an onion and we're going to dice it. If you still don't know how to cut an onion, you're just making some parallel cuts straight down. Then you're just going to make some top down. And then bam, you've diced an onion. With that done, we're coming over to the stovetop and putting some oil in our soup pot. We've got our heat on medium. We're going to let this heat up. Once our oil is shimmering, we're going to go ahead and chuck our onion in. I'm also going to throw in a pinch of salt at this point. Here the instructions say to cook this for about 8 minutes, so I'm setting my timer. So here I've got a bunch of dill, literally, and I'm just picking some dill off my bunch. If I want to, I can chop up this whole bunch right now. I'm not gonna, but I could. Don't forget to check on your onions at this point. And they're coming along quite nicely. So I'm gonna chop up 4 tablespoons of butter and throw it in the pot. The directions that I was given for this said to start with the butter, but I prefer to start onions in oil just because I know what I'm getting with heat and oil, and butter can sometimes smoke a little bit more. At that point, I'm just gonna mince the crap out of this dill, remembering that mincing is not my forte. I'm really bad at it, and I know I'm really bad at it. I'm using the butter to scrape the fond. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's good. Yep, that's pretty good. I'm going a little heavy on the dill because I actually like dill quite a bit. At this point, it says to throw in 6 or 7 cups of mushrooms. So I'm using 32 ounces of mushrooms. These are pre-sliced because pre-sliced were on sale. And I'm going to give these a quick rinse. If you trust your mushrooms, you don't need to. But I am not, by nature, a trustful person. What can I say? You may have heard the wives' tale about washing mushrooms, making them absorb water. I don't think that's true. And even if it is true, all it does is increase the cooking time. That was my 8-minute timer. Now I'm going to start another 8-minute timer. And I'm also going to add a big old pinch of salt on top of that. We'll see how much these cook down, if at all, because we might need a bigger pot. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Okay, during this time I've got some thyme ready, and I'm just gonna pinch it off. We want a teaspoon again. I don't usually bother to chop or try to mince thyme, because 1, like I said, I'm bad at it, and 2, it's already little. I'm not going to stand around and try to cut up something that's already little. Don't forget to stir your mushrooms occasionally. The notes for this recipe say that they like to cook them on high to see if they char up. I'm going to give that a little try. I'm not going to give it a lot of try though, because it's scary. So what I'm seeing from this is the mushrooms release so much liquid that I don't think that unless you get rid of some of this liquid, you're gonna actually char the mushrooms. Maybe you could if you were doing this in a big cast iron Dutch oven, but I don't think I'm gonna get anything in this. And that's fine. Basically, this is making a mushroom stock. And that's our other 8 minutes. So I'm gonna add my teaspoon of thyme, my teaspoon of dill, and a teaspoon of fresh parsley left over from the risotto episode. Yeah, maybe a little more. I'm sitting on a lot of parsley, okay? I got a lot of it. Give it a mix. And let everybody simmer for another 2 minutes. During that time, you're gonna get together 1 tablespoon of cornstarch or 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour. I can't have that, so I'm using cornstarch. Then we're going to pour in 1 cup of cold milk. Then we're going to get out our itty bitty whisk, which is not related to Babish's tiny whisk. And we're going to whisk it together to form a slurry. The idea behind this is to create a soup thickener. Cornstarch is not great if you just dump it in, but it works quite well if you mix it with a liquid first. At this point, you're going to add an ounce of dry white wine or an ounce of whiskey, whichever you feel like. It calls for a splash, that's about a splash. 4 cups of chicken broth. That's 1 container for those of you playing the home game. Don't squeeze it too hard because it will get all over the stove. 1 more pinch of salt. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns on the pepper mill. Just because 5 turns is lucky. Not really, I don't know. You're also going to pour in 1 cup of beef broth. And now we're increasing the heat slightly and bringing the mixture to a boil. Okay, now I'm going to slowly stir in our milk and cornstarch mixture. I'm checking to make sure there's not a lot of remnants on the bottom. That should thicken it up nicely. Ooh, don't want to lose that in there. Now, one secret trick, it's not in the recipe, but I'm going to do it anyway. I stole this from J. Kenji Lopez Alt. I'm going to take 2 dabs of fish sauce, which will be an umami bomb. It'll add some flavor to it. It won't taste anything like fish when it's done, I promise. I'm going to let this simmer for 20 minutes. So I'm cutting the heat down a little lower and just letting it do its thing. I got about 7 minutes left on my timer. Tasted it, wanted more salt. 2 more big pinches of salt. I also want more pepper. About 11 more twists of black pepper. Again, taste it and season it to your discretion. After a hunger-inducing 20 minutes, we're ready to serve. I'm gonna go enjoy this with some gluten-free bread. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell, leave me a comment down below, let me know how I'm doing. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.